Definitely. Because we could say send it, and then we.
I don't want to blow it up.
Okay.
If it's broken, I'm not going to race. I'm just asking.
You know what?
So what
You're far
if you...
better than I was at your age, because I'd be like, well, what's the worst that could happen?
18 grand down the toilet. Yeah. So today is our championship night. This is my last race of this season and the last points race for this season. So rounding out our rookie year, I mean, looking back, I couldn't be any happier with what we've accomplished so far and what we've done this year. But the last couple of weeks have been pretty difficult. And we've been struggling with the setup in our car. So hopefully this week, after making some more adjustments, going back to square one, we can figure out what's up with the car, get it set up great, and then it'll stay steady for qualifying in both of our features today.
So are you getting called out, Brendan?
Yeah.
So last week, after our first feature, we changed our spark plugs in our car, which was definitely very beneficial. I mean, we were very down on power, considering how much better the car was with the new spark plugs. They were just worn out, and I think definitely with the built motor, putting all that stress on it, definitely would benefit from changing them maybe 2 or 3 times next season. Yeah, definitely a learning lesson that if we do feel like that, then we should definitely take a look at the motor. I mean, we aren't motor people, so we don't like to touch that kind of stuff, but something like that that's a more simple change is definitely something to worth giving it a shot.
I'm not a motor guy, so I'll take their word.
So far in Kendra's rookie season, I think she's done very well, better than we anticipated.
Please line up for practice. Please line up for practice.
She did what she needed to do, which was bring the car home clean every weekend. I'm that bad guy that has to be the one that has to constantly say, hey, don't forget to be careful. Don't wreck your car. You don't have a lot of time to work on your car. You got to stay within your budget. Because although she pays for everything for her race car, I'm the one that watches the budget for her. So I'm the one that has to remind her that, hey, you can't just get new parts or you can't get whatever. You got to keep the car together.
Getting deeper and harder now. The tire you felt like deeper, harder brake, run it hot, turn it. Rinse before. See it stick? I like it. Come on, get hotter in the free. Real low. Come on, feel like 15. Open it up. Hard, push it up.
It was like, I don't even know, Dad, and it was rattling bad.
What?
It's something in the drive line, because it affected how the car was driving.
How did it affect it?
It was like as soon as I let off the gas, I thought it blew up the motor. So I don't know what happened.
What did it feel like?
It felt like I blew my motor up.
I wasn't up there, I was in the wrong.
Oh yeah, it felt like I blew my motor up. Like when I blew up my motor, that's what it felt like.
But no smoker or anything came out.
I don't think so. I don't know. I couldn't see. Yeah, but like it could still be something in the motor broke.
Yeah.
But it just didn't blow up.
Right,
It could have been
you drove it in.
internally.
You drove it in.
I drove it in, yeah.
Lane got pushed in.
Yeah, I saw that.
The motor ran, no problem. Did the motor change sound?
Yes.
How did it
was
sound
like,
differently?
It was like wah 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 after I started it again. And then like not after I started it again.
When you were just idling?
When I was, yeah, and even when I was driving, it was like as soon as I lifted, it went slow, and that sound happened, and then when I got back on the gas, it was like wah 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 wah.
Okay.
Like it wasn't a good sound. It didn't sound good, and it felt like something broke. Like it felt like there was no power, and it was a bad sound, and nothing was happening. Like when I got on the gas.
Let's have a look and then go.
Well, the only reason I asked that is because you're wanting to take it out to practice, right?
Well, she'll have have at least the qualifying.
Yeah, that's not good enough, Dad.
Okay, well then go talk to him because I have no idea what we're gonna find.
I'm just asking.
It's people ask me a lot about, you know, oh, why did you only have one child? And I can tell you I don't. I have two. I definitely have a son and a daughter because they fight like siblings when they fight. And it's usually Kendra will come in the house and say, Mom, Dad's doing this. And then 10 minutes later, Brendan will come in and be like, okay, I've had enough of her for tonight. This is what. So I always feel like I'm playing the referee just as if they're my two children. So that gets tiring sometimes, but other than that, for the most part, they really do work together well. But the biggest problem is that they are the identical person. They share all the same bad traits and all the same good traits, and they do butt heads, and they're both very adamant that they are right.
That's my daddy Haskell.
Anything in the clutch, you feel good. They go through the gears, all right?
Something just cracked here. Did you hear a clunk there? Yeah. I heard that.
So in practice, we were actually pretty fast until there was a problem. I let off the gas going into turn 3, and as I got back on and exiting the corner, there was an awful sound coming from the motor, not very much power, and something was wrong. So I don't know what to do because I spoke to him. Do I go get him? Like, it's smoking over on this side. Can anybody see that? That's okay. We are lucky enough that the Maltese crew and the NGMotorsports crew came over and were helping us. Without a doubt, they'll come over in the snap of a finger and help us, even if we don't ask for it. I mean, everybody here is super generous and wants to see each other do great, so that's why we do what we do.
I don't have one. I'm pretty sure he doesn't carry a timing chain. And even if that's it, I'd be, yes.
Okay, but if I don't race tonight, then you won't race Velocity. Just keep that in mind too.
We're not fixing the motor.
It's too expensive a motor to take a risk.
Well, and that's exactly it. I said that to Kendra. I said back to my Thundercar days, I'd have raced it.
I would have took it apart and fixed it right here, right? Not with my $15,000 leach. I'd seal it up and push it in. Take it home and look at it properly. If not, then back to gears.
We came in here, we checked it out, and we couldn't really find anything until we checked our timing, and there was something way off with our timing. It was jumping around and it was crazy, and it was not what it was last week when we tested it. So our timing belt actually had either broken or stretched out to the point where it won't run our motor smoothly at all. So that is an end of the season problem for our number 2 car, which is pretty sad, but this is my last night, and my dad was going to race it for Velocity next weekend. Sadly, he won't be racing it, which kind of sucks, but I mean, it's too much and too short notice to fix before. I mean, we could, and the motor would still be great for next season, but it's too big of an expense and too much work just to run the last race of the year. So that is an end of the season problem for our number 2 car.
Yeah, like I said, just the first one, like Paulie said,
just stay at the back, yeah.
Just hang out at the back, right?
Yeah, obviously.
If I need it, right?
Yeah, okay. Sounds good. Thank you, Nick. You're the bestest.
The second one, good.
I'll pull a Joe and win, okay? All right, now we gotta find Dallas and talk to him about getting some practice laps in our rented car. We're getting the car from the 24 team. Nick gets one of our best friends here at the track. But I'd actually spotted for him a couple times, and he is one of the nicest guys I know. So he offered to let me race his backup car for both of the features tonight because he is the best person in the whole entire world.
No, what's your size?
16. 16.
Oh Christ, that's a 14.
I don't know if my butt will fit in here, Nick.
We fenced it in and it's got a different shoulder and head restraint.
Oh. Do you wear cologne in the car? Because it smells nice in here.
Yeah, I like to look good for the girls.
Are you telling me you're fatter than Nick?
My legs are. Look at his legs.
I got small boobs though. You're not big.
Oh my God, this is so close.
So what?
My body.
Leverage advantage.
My elbow is on the steering wheel.
Now you're going to find out what a fast car can hold up.
That was first. There we go.
Yeah, all float up at a 4. Just
Keep it going.
Let it float up, yeah, instead of trying to hold it down. And then the asset won't kick out of it. Yeah.
It was like, didn't feel real. I don't know. It was weird.
Feel real.
Thanks, Paul. Well, what do you think, Superstar?
I think that it didn't feel like I was even in a real race car. I felt like I was on a simulator. That's what it felt like.
Molly, did you tell her this before that you should be saying this out of her mouth?
And
Tell her what to say or what?
like when I came out of the corner, it got loose, but I didn't feel it until I was like at the wall. I was like, oh, I'm pretty loose. Yeah, I don't know. That was weird.
Feel good?
Yeah.
Comfortable?
Yeah.
You picked up some speed there
I
as
felt
the laps went up.
slow though. Like I was not even barely on the gas. I felt like I wasn't.
You could probably definitely roll sooner, I think, throttle.
Steady wins the race.
Yeah. Really good.
I was going to suggest it because I wasn't sure where you were.
It felt weird. Like I didn't feel like it was actually happening. Like it was so
How was it to drive like,
smooth.
compared to yours, you think?
Get in that thing
No, I'm
and
just
tell
asking
me
it, like,
you know,
I had no idea.
it feels so much better, and it's like it sounds so much more quiet. Like it sounds so like contained in its own.
Great, right?
Oh yeah, that's true too.
The decision's been made to park the 2 car for the rest of the year. She's not going to go out and run either feature or even qualifying with this car. Nick Getz, the 2014, was gracious enough to loan Kendra his backup car. So she'll qualify that. She'll run the first feature, probably just a handful of laps, and then park it in case he needs it for the second feature, and then move on to the final feature. And it's still undetermined if she's going to give herself the green light and race it, or if she's just going to start and park it there and end out the year with a disappointing start and park. But the decision to park the 2 car, really heartbreaking. I mean, she's just had a fantastic year. We've achieved some goals. We've had some struggles. It's been an up and down season, and to start it off as happy as we were with the beginning of practice, the car was great. To end up now making the decision, we got to park the car because we can save what's wrong with it. If we run it, we run the risk of blowing it sky high, and that's not the smart move to make for her or for anyone else on the racetrack who might get caught up in that crap.
So one of my role models as a race car driver is Amanda Balson, and I met up with her at Sunset Speedway. I am here with Amanda Balson, one of Ontario's most talented limited late model drivers. Hi, thanks for being on the show today.
Thank you. I'm so flattered. Thanks for having me.
No problem. So today I just wanted to ask you about your early days in racing and how you got started.
Well, my dad raced while I grew up. Unfortunately, he passed away when I was 12, but I continued at early teens to still come up to Sunset and watch the racing, and something still struck me about car racing, and I'd actually watched a few other ladies, Tara McLeod and a few other ladies race, and that kind of inspired me to jump behind the wheel. So at 18, I purchased my own team, and I showed up here, and the rest is history.
And the rest is history. I love it. So I heard that you started racing, and when you started racing, you and all your teen girlfriends, you all came up here, and you guys were kind of lost to like what was going on, as most people are when they first start racing.
We were especially lost.
Yeah.
It was me and my two girlfriends. We had rented a car the year before. I'd run 2 nights, but we didn't work on the car. We were very, very blind coming in, but we made the best of it. We had a ton of fun. We learned in a hurry, and within 3 weeks we were winning races.
What do you think went on for the female aspect? Do you think that you had any troubles or there was any controversy in you racing?
I think when I first came around, I think I was ignorant to the fact that there would be any controversy. I didn't really know that it existed.
Yeah.
Towards the end of the first season, I started to see it a little bit, comments and things that were really quite unfair, but I quickly realized that that's par for the course, and that's going to come with the territory. Today, I don't feel that way as much. I think that there's still the odd driver here and there that's maybe a little older and from a different generation, that you're never going to change the opinion of people like that. But now I seemingly race with a lot of people that are younger than me, and they're brought up in a different time where, you know, women are empowered and women are to be respected, and it changes the way people think. So, I mean, I feel like the respect I'm given on the racetrack is respect that I've earned. And I feel like people's minds have changed towards women now. I mean, 15 to 20 years ago when I first started, it wasn't uncommon for me to show up at a track and be the only woman in the entire pits racing a car. Now that's just simply not the case.
Right.
There's women everywhere, which I think is just absolutely wonderful.
It felt good.
Okay, just free off?
Yeah.
Or center off?
Free off. I mean,
Just free off or
free
center
off.
off?
Just free off, yeah.
All right, we'll talk to Polly and maybe we'll make a wedge adjustment for the feature. And again, the feature's only gonna be like an 8 or 10 lap, just to get a feel for things.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Well, let's go do what we're doing. Look how well they made the stripes look. They can't even tell that there's a 4 on that.
I know, I did part of this. I did the yellow.
It's awesome. Send it? Yeah, are you good with that?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to make huge adjustments to it.
Me neither.
right? Because A, it's not our car, and B, I don't think it's going to make a huge difference for us for what we're going to do. And
I just wanted
it'll probably
to have the
be
same setup that I'm going to have in the second feature.
right, but the track's probably going to change so much. If it's free in this one, it's going to be better for the second one, right?
Okay.
Got it? Go.
So in the first feature, I'm actually not going to be, I probably won't be racing the full race. We'll probably just do about 10 laps just to see how the car is, get a better feel for it, set up, and then I'll pull in just in case something were to happen. And then in the second one, I'll race it as I would have raced mine. Because Nick is running for the championship, so I will keep that car in perfect condition. So if something does happen in the first feature for Nick, then he'll have the backup car for the second feature.
But the easier you can get on, the better. If you wait too late and you try and get on it hard, it's going to snap the ass end out, right?
Okay,
I don't know why, like, for some reason Jordan has the rhythm of this car better than everybody so far.
So on it early, but
as early as you can, but just squeeze, well, smash it, okay?
okay.
Green.
As the 2 car. So we raced Nick gets backup car in the first feature, and we will be in the second feature because our car did not run because of the motor problem that we had with it. I mean, it kind of sucks, but they were like really nice enough to let us borrow their car, and this is the last race of the season, so I'm not too concerned about it. But basically, we just started and parked the 24X. We started and parked it so if Nick needed it for the second race, because he is in the championship, he'd be able to run it.
During the race, Kendra ran 5 laps, and the plan was to run 5 laps and then pull it in. She ran at the back of the pack, so she wasn't going to get involved in any mess if there was a mess, and pulled it in just in case Nick did need it should he have a problem in the first feature. And my hat's off to him, he didn't have any problems. So she pulled off to the infield. A handful of laps later, there was 2 cars that were running at the back that both pulled off into the outfield, pulled right off the racetrack. And that was simply a product of them not wanting to go to the infield and then wait out the race. They were kind of just out there running some laps as well. So once the leaders got relatively close, they pulled off the racetrack. And if you pull to the outfield, you cannot re-enter the track. If something had happened a few laps later and 10 cars got wrecked, Kendra could have re-entered the race from the infield and then picked up some spots. So that's why she went to the infield versus pulling off and being done for the night. But really bad. I thought something in the driveline might have broke or the clutch. I'm not sure, to be honest. So they're gonna take it back to McCall's and they're gonna check it over and then let me know. I would have raced my car harder than I would race this one for sure. I've never ever raced a car that I did not own. So this was a first for me. And being in an amazing car and an amazing expensive late model was definitely pretty scary for me, knowing that in 1 second I could totally destroy the car and have to pay for it, which is money that I do not have. But today went as good as today could have gone. We had a problem with our car and we still got to race. So I'm really thankful, and I'm really thankful that we accomplished all of our goals this year, and I can't be happier than I am right now. Last night of the year, championship night. and I'm smiling. The car's in one piece, the championship's over, all the points are done. The night wasn't what we had hoped for, but the year certainly was. We can look at it in a number of different aspects, and the aspect I like to look at it is that we finished off exactly, we achieved the goals that we were looking to achieve. Kendra ended up NASCAR Rookie of the Year, Provincial Division 1. She ended up Sunset Rookie of the Year, ended up 13th overall in the points in an unbelievable field where 7 of the top 40 in North America are residing in the NASCAR points. So a tough division to get into. With only 5 years experience, first year in a late model, had a fantastic year.
Proud of you, Nick.
Thanks.
You deserved it. Thanks for letting me race your car.
No problem.
I know,
Anytime.
I almost wore your shirt today.
Yes.
You've worn it for the last week straight, so
Yeah, I have.
today needed a break.
I know.
Congratulations, buddy. Great year.
Thanks.
Thanks for everything.
This was my rookie year, and as a rookie, I feel amazing. I have won the Sunset Rookie of the Year, being the second youngest to win that. And for the NASCAR Provincial Rookie of the Year, I am the youngest NASCAR Provincial Rookie of Ontario, and I am the only female also to win the NASCAR Rookie of the Year for Ontario.